Hi guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. And I know it's been a while, but I'd got a bit sort of well, livid at the amount of cheesy armies I was fighting against. I had a load of connection issues for a while, and it was very annoying. So I was holding out until we did the me and those other YouTubers did that Ultimate Chaos mod tournament. But that's taking a while to update, so I decided to just hop in and do some more replays. So, and luckily, I went against a guy who wasn't totally cheesy, so that's great. So, as you can see, I've got the Beastmen with me. So, I've got a front line of gore herds with shields, so nice missile resistance against the Empire who I'm facing. Also got 3 lots of spearmen, in case they try and flank me with any, you know, cavalry or anything. Nice anti-large, and, well, cheap anti-large, which is good. I've also got a Bray Shaman of Death, so Spirit Leech and Fate of Boona, very useful for taking out, you know, sort of heroes and enemy cavalry. And then I've also got 3 lots of Ungor Raiders in the back, just to put a bit of missile pressure on people. So they've got Flying Lord or something, it's very nice just to wind them up. So, you know, it's handy. So they do very little damage, but it adds up. It adds up if they're left, you know, to do that. So, so that's fun. So they're being led by Morga, the Shadow Gave. So, you know, Spirit Essence of Chaos and the Ruinous Stave of Corruption, very useful. Summoning Chaos Spawn, and also getting rid of damaged enemy units, so they can't come back. So that's always fun. And then over here, I've got a pretty mighty cavalry army here. I've got 4 lots of Centaurs with great weapons, and I've got 1 unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison. So if we look over here, so I couldn't actually see these guys in the forest just yet, which is why I sent my Chaos Warhounds to go explore, because they're the quickest. So I wanted to see what was in here, because as far as I could tell, they basically had pretty much nothing but artillery, which was very strange. So here they've got crossbowmen, they've got a couple of handgunners, they've got the great cannon. Here though, they've got some great swords hidden in here, they've got some more great swords here, and some swordsmen in the middle. They've got a light wizard and general of the Empire, but over here they have a steam tank as well. So the terror from the steam tank is going to be incredibly useful against the Beastmen. And so yeah, not a bad little army. So you know, the handgunners and the cannon, very good at taking out things like gore bulls and, you know, minotaurs, things like that. Obviously the Cygor, if I had one, you know, the great cannon would be able to deal with that. So pretty good. And also, you know, the crossbowmen do a fair bit of damage against lightly armoured troops. And the great swords are just great against infantry. So, you know, it's a very small army, very specialised. And here you can see they've got the 2 Demigryph Knights with halberds, which are great counters to any cavalry. They will just tear them up. But luckily, I do outnumber them, and I do have the advantage of a really good charge bonus. If I can get a good charge off on these guys, I will be able to do a lot of damage very quickly. So that's good. So yeah, so let's speed things up. So as you can see, I'm just marching my whole army down the pipe. I'm going to get 1 unit caught on the steam tank, but I'm happy just to keep that steam tank busy and throw away a unit of gore herd while I try and destroy all this. Because it's not a big army, so if I can get a good surround on it, hopefully I can take them out very quickly. That was my plan. I just wanted to get in as quickly as possible and just do as much damage as possible. You know, really limit the amount he could do with any of his ranged units, and that would leave him with very few units left to, you know, mobilise against me. So that's the plan. So yeah, so not bad. But of course the Light Wizard, it does have the net of Amatox, so I need to watch out for that, because it could negate my charges. So here, you know, I get some units on the Demigryph Knights, and you can see, get a slight wrap, but not a lot, because I can see that net incoming. So unfortunately, the second unit is going to have a field day, and yeah, you can see they are starting to come back, focus on, you know, one edge. It is tough. I'm not going to have all these guys in combat, and I really need that. Also, he's trying to get these Chaos Warhounds off his great swords, actually. No, just his swordsman. Which is unfortunate. You know, I want to do some damage in the back, but unfortunately I couldn't get my front line in quick enough. So you can see, you know, I've got a steam tank that's under it, you know, attacking my gore herd. He won't have any problems there. I think I use a Spirit Leech on him early on to try and do a bit of damage, because Spirit Leech does actually work quite well against steam tanks. Because, you know, they are a single model unit, so it's pretty good. So here I try and fall back and countercharge again, but, you know, he's chasing me. Here I get a nice Fate of Boona on the Demigryph Knights. That will do a lot of damage. Here though, got the whole of my front line just, you know, wading in. The Great Swords are going to do very well here. They're mainly fighting spearmen and some gore herds. And unfortunately, a lot of their ranged units are still alive. But I am getting some good ranged attacks on the handgunners. They've got no armour or shield, so they will get torn to pieces by Ungor Raiders. Here though, you know, these gore herds still fighting, but not for very long. They're not going to hold out for much longer. So over here though, you know, the cavalry fight is pretty close. It's pretty close at this point. If I can get a nice charge on the remaining unit, I should be able to wrap it up fairly quickly. The other one is completely decimated, which is good, but as you can see, I've suffered a lot of casualties here. So yeah, got a lot of guys fleeing. But I did manage to get one unit centaurs on these handgunners, so the handgunners can't back up the cavalry anymore. So that's good. So nice spirit leech on the General of the Empire here. Where is my wizard? Oh yes, he's there, which is a very stupid place for him. I didn't realise that he was in the thick of it. I thought he was over here. So that's a nightmare for me, because yeah, the General will be able to take out the Brayshaven, and I really could do with keeping that Brayshaven, because I'm going to need the spirit leeches to whittle down that steam tank. So, because I don't have a lot of good and like armor-piercing units, to be honest, apart from the centaurs, but they're so decimated from fighting all this cavalry. So that's tough. So, but, you know, you can see here, the Demigryph Knights have taken a lot of damage. I do have the poison attacks from the Chaos Warhounds backing them up now. It was actually a mistake sending the Warhounds into the back of that group. I was hoping that was centaurs, but I clicked on the wrong unit. So, I didn't manage to get the poison on the Demigryph Knights, which is a massive shame. Because if I did, then I wouldn't have suffered so many casualties when they all got netted. So that's a real pity. Real pity indeed. So now though, you can see Morga is in the thick of it. This is a bit tough for him. Managed to get one little Chaos Spawn in, try and back him up, but, you know, these great swords, and, you know, a Steam Tank, Light Wizard, General, there's still a lot of power focused here. I managed to defeat his Demigryph Knights though, so that's something. So, you know, more than I could, you know, hope for there, really. Managed to completely decimate them, so that's great. But they are coming back. How dare you? There's only 3 of them, they're coming back. They always come back. But yeah, you can see, got a lot of guys running now. A lot of guys are running. Mainly because the steam tank. They're all just terrified. Actually, they're broken, but I think it was, you know, terror that started it. And you can see Morga is on the edge here. It's not going well. So here, I'm trying to get my, my spearmen and things back in. Just anything that can come and support, because I need to keep Morga in the fight. If he runs away, that could be it for me. So get my Gore Herd back in. These guys will rally soon. I'll charge them back in. Actually, I think I'll charge them over here to finish off any other units and then coming back in. So here, I'm desperately trying to find a place to use the Stave of Ruinous Corruption, because, yeah, I mean, those guys should be able to get zapped, but they're not. It doesn't let me. Luckily, though, the General of the Empire is starting to break, so that's good news for me. He's having a bad day. And luckily, I do have enough other units in here to sort of bog down that steam tank a bit, so he's not getting as good hits on Morgan. So trying to get in some charge bonuses here with my Centaurs, but you can see it's pretty tight at the moment. Okay, these guys need to come back. Come on. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's still anyone's game at this point, because that steam tank will get a lot of kills in this blob. They could just chew through infantry like this all day without any problem, and that terror will mean my guys will run away a lot quicker. And then once they start, you know, running away as they come back in, you know, weaker and weaker waves, they're just going to get terrified before they can even reach the steam tank. It's an absolute nightmare situation for like the end of the battle. If I had my wizard, that would have been great. I could have just used another 3 spirit leeches on him, you know, in the time he's been, you know, milling around here. But no, he took out my wizard, which was very clever of him. Very clever. So here you can see light wizard in here. So I've charged him with everything. I want to get rid of him. They got some, you know, handgunners shooting at me, so he did manage to, you know, scare off my cavalry then, which is very annoying. But still, you know, it's pretty much down to the steam tank now. Pretty much down to the steam tank. So, yeah, there goes the Chaos Spawn. And yeah, you can see all these guys are now shattered, so I'm going to bring all these guys back in, I think. Or do I chase them for a little bit? I can't quite remember. But yeah, I do bring them back soon. But you can see here, look at this, look at this. They're all getting terrified now. This is exactly what I was scared of. And now it's basically just Morga against a steam tank. And I don't really like Morga fighting a steam tank on his own. That's not a good situation for me. Oh, also, their general did run off and rally, so I chased him down with the last of my Centaurs. Because, yeah, I just need to do a bit more damage to him to get rid of him, really. But, I mean, look at this. He's really doing well. Stand your ground, I think, is probably what's keeping him in it. The plus 16 leadership. Once that wears off, he's going to run. So, here, though, again, Morga fighting all these, you know, this steam tank on his own. It's pretty bad. So, I'm going to charge these guys in a second. In fact, I think I just literally hit Control A and then told him to charge. So my whole army is after him now because I've seen everything else is shattered. So that's quite nice. There's one unit left. Just Control A, you know, select all, and boom. Yeah, it really speeds things up. You don't have to go around trying to find all your units, or, you know, click on the tabs at the bottom. You know, click on the unit tiles. So I got Morga out there, and now this is just a beautiful way to end it. And boom, I turn the tank into Chaos Spawn. So that's fun. That's a nice way to end it. I love doing that against, like, you know, sort of serious units at the end. I've done it to Demigryph Knights in the past. It's just so good. It's just, the enemy loses so much power if you can convert, you know, the last 25% of an expensive unit. So, you know, if this happened earlier, that could have been enough to cause a chain rout, because, you know, that much expense going, the balance of power would have shifted so much as a result of that. So, so it's really fun. I love doing that, just having one of these banked for anything expensive. So it's really good fun. So yeah, I love finishing on that note. But you see, that was a bloody close fight. Really close. You know, I made a mistake not getting the Chaos Warhounds in the fight with the Demigryph Knight, so my Centaurs couldn't hang in there as long as I would have wanted them to at the start, you know, after they got netted. So that's a real shame. You know, that would have cost me a lot of Centaur, which made the next fights harder. So by the time I did get rid of the Demigryph Knights, which I should have been able to take out quite happily with these guys, you know, look at the... I mean, I suffered so many casualties. I mean, over 60 kills each, and that's all against Centaurs. That's really tough. That's a lot of damage that I took from that. So I could have negated that. Front line, obviously, that was all fodder. I just wanted to charge them in, pin the enemy down. I rely on my cavalry a lot in these kind of armies. My Ungol Raiders, they did fairly well. You know, a fair few kills there. Obviously all against their ranged units, but then when you've got an army that's only 550 units, yeah, you know, that damage to their ranged is that's gonna add up. And, you know, these are cheap units. So that's good. Also, there's morale penalties for being shot at by, you know, ranged units. So, yeah, pretty useful. They came in handy. And they weren't really attacked, because he didn't really have enough mobile units to, you know, to worry about them, basically. So that's good. But yeah, Spearmen did a bit crap, because they didn't really have anything to fight. But, you know, they helped a little bit. And, yeah, Morga, not many kills, but he was basically just fighting the General and the Steam Tank for most of the fight. And unfortunately, my Bray Shaman, although he got a couple of spells off, you know, the Fate of Buna would have definitely helped damage the Demigryph Knights a bit. But, yeah, I was stupid to leave him in the fight. I didn't realise he was where he was. So yeah, he just got killed by the General, which is terrible. It's just, yeah, that was a dumb move. Because he would have come in so useful later on. Like that, you know, him taking out the Bray Shaman, that could have been the start of his victory there. But yeah, that was a tough one. Definitely a tough fight. But I really enjoyed it. So thanks, Bolzano Weierstrass. Bolzano Weierstrass? I believe that's right. Yeah, thanks for the game. Hopefully see you again on Ladder soon. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.